Guys, what's going on? Welcome back. My name is Vasile and I'm restoring a 1974 Columbia 45.
This here is the boat currently sitting in the Coronado Bay.
Today's a pretty big day because I'm attaching my Johnson 25 horsepower two-stroke motor to the back of my sailboat. Here's my Johnson 25 two-stroke outboard motor that I'll be mounting to the boat. And this will be the main propulsion device for the boat for, I don't know, maybe a year or so until I get the main motor going. So I'm going to load up the car and then head down to the boat. It's about an hour away south. Alright, while I'm charging the car to head to the boat, just wanted to show you guys what's in my trunk right now. So I have the battery for the motor. It's going to be hooked up to the dinghy. I also have all the controls for the engine. Obviously, the engine is in here. I put it in a trash bag so the water is not leaking. I have a compressor to blow up the large tube, which is going to hold the engine out of the water. I have two more smaller tubes just in case I need to raise it, lower it, or stabilize it. Compressor nozzle to blow that up. Batteries for the compressor. The gas tank for the motor, I put that in a bag so that in case any gas spills, we don't have gas in the Tesla. My wetsuit that I'm going to be putting on because today is, I think I checked, it was 52 degrees in the water. Cold, very cold. So there we go. Tesla is all full of stuff. And this is what boating projects look like. This is my brother's crazy ass idea to do this. We basically put the tire tube around the top portion of the engine that leaves this little guy exposed. And that's where the motor's going to mount to the bracket. So now we're just gonna see if it floats. Wading through the water so we get deep enough for this engine to sit properly. Might take a little bit because this bay is pretty shallow at first, but we'll see what happens. There's the motor. All right, so my hands are all oily from grabbing the prop end, which has the oil because it's a two-stroke, and I'm walking back to get the dinghy, and hopefully this works. Haha. Come on. And I'm gonna use these guys to see if we can stabilize it a little bit more. I do have some straps with me, so these guys are gonna be hopefully stabilizing it. We'll see. I'm just using this guy to attach the second tube to here, just to give it a little bit more stability. This thing's a little long, so my brother knows some tricks. We decided to change our plans. We're going to do two of the smaller tubes on either side of the engine, and I don't know. Let's see if this thing floats. He keeps trying to escape. Let's bring that thing back. And there's real sketch. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Stop. It's floating. So we got it hooked up. And I don't know, are we walking it out? Or are we just gonna swim it out? Tow it out?
I mean, we can swim it out, but I'd say just attaches the boat and give it a nice easy float.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, this is taking on water, so we're gonna have to, as my brother said, de-water it. So I have to pull the spark plugs out again and crank it until the water comes out, because it's definitely partially underwater. Wow, it's in the water without capsizing it. And here we go. I am in the dinghy with no water. Good. Here we go. Well, let's hope we'll give it a little bit of leeway so the prop doesn't hit it. And we are underway. This is shady as all fuck. What's happening? We have to go full juice because we're like barely moving at speed number 4. This thing has 5 settings, and I was on 4, and we're like barely moving. So we're full steam ahead. Engine in tow. Like I said, this is super shady. My brother has jumped out of the boat to make this faster because we're barely towing this thing. So he's in the water right now, pushing the motor. because it was very slow. To the boat, trying to get the engine in position. So we dropped the engine off, so now I'm gonna come back, circle around, tie the boat off, and get in the water. Oh dude, it's like fucking underwater.
Lower this thing?
I'm gonna lower it in a second.
No, I'm gonna give you this line, and then you lift.
So I'm gonna take the fins off.
Yeah. You lift from the water. I mean, from the what do you call it?
From the deck.
And then I'll place it onto the mount. There you go.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, the problem is I had no. The reason I asked to put you in the boat is because if both of us are in the water, there's no good handhold.
Yeah.
To lift it and have it stabilize and not to have this thing go cattywampus.
We almost got it the first time, dude.
Yeah, the first time we almost got it, but they weren't
loose enough.
They weren't loose enough.
I didn't think of that. Fuck.
Well, I told you the floating thing would work.
Yeah, that was a good idea, dude. Yeah, from this dinghy, there's no. I mean, it's shady as fuck because if a big wave comes by, it's gonna capsize the dinghy. Okay, guys. I messed up. I'm so sorry. I was in a rush. My brother basically had to get home to the kids, and we were in a hurry, so I didn't have the time like I usually to double check if the camera's running. So the part where we actually mounted the motor onto the boat, I did not get on camera, so I am so sorry about that. But just to describe it to you, what happened was I was on deck, my brother was in the water with the motor and the flotation devices, and we had a line running to the motor, the one that we used to tow it in. So I was basically pulling the motor up from on deck, and he was lifting it from below in the water with fins. So one time we actually got it onto the bracket, and I was dumb enough not to have the attachment screws loose enough for it to clear the bracket, so it had to come down, and then we struggled a lot. One of the flotation tubes actually exploded, which made me very, very nervous, because if they started to explode, then the motor would end up in the bottom of the bay. Then we got really lucky. Basically, somebody was out here with a boat. It was a rib, which is a rigid hull inflatable boat. They pulled up beside us and just kind of nudged one of the ends while we lifted the motor onto the bracket. So the good news is the motor is now installed on the bracket, and I'm heading back out to the boat right now because I had to drop my brother off, and I'm going to take a look at it and install the security wire that has to go to the motor in case there's heavy waves and the bolts aren't tight enough to hold the motor. It doesn't end up in the middle of the bay. So this is me loading right now with the controls and the gas tank, heading back to the boat on the dinghy. A beautiful, beautiful, about to be evening in Coronado. Yep. Okay, pulling up to the boat. It's a little bit wavy out here, so the boat is rocking. You can see I'm happy that my motor is still attached. That is good news. There you can see it with the flotation device out of the water. And hold on, let me get away from the boat a little bit. There's another good view of it attached. Oh, it's rocking right now. So yeah, basically brother was in here in the water, and I was up there pulling the string
attaching the motor. There it is. So happy that's on there. Now I'll have to de-water it and then go from there. But for now, I'm going to attach that cable just to know that the motor's not going to go anywhere. Double check all connections, take off the floating tubes, and go from there.
All right, so I'm having a hard time getting that flotation tube out, and it's getting dark. The sunset has already happened. Downtown San Diego is getting lit up slowly, so I have work in the morning, so I won't have time to do what I wanted to do today, which is finish this installation, but that'll be for next time. Here's the motor. Loading, attached, secured. I have a motor on this boat now. Also, just realizing how close we came to absolute disaster, both of my supporting tubes had popped. So we were just floating in that one. So if it went out, I don't know, I guess we were gonna go for a dive mission, recover that motor. So thankful I didn't have to do that. Very nerve-wracking, but we got it done.